Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is September the 12th, 2018. Strong hand. And long-term thinking. Something wacky just happened. The deferral of gratification unconfiscatable. Bitcoin is better than my computer. No gatekeepers offended by selling. All right, people, check out the links below. DisruptMeister.com. Get your Trezor, CryptoHWWallet.com. Get t-shirts like this. I'm going to talk about this t-shirt in a second and what exactly this t-shirt is. First off, I wanted to share this Alistair Milne tweet that is out there. We'll know when we've hit the crypto bottom when Bitmain's IPO is canceled. That could be a sign of the crypto bottom. A lot of people are like, what will be the sign of the crypto bottom or the altcoin bottom? Because, so I was thinking, what would be the sign of the altcoin bottom? And for me, it's when those BitConnect scammer dudes start rearing their ugly heads again and are into something else. And I'm actually starting to notice some of the dudes involved with that. I'm seeing their names pop up again over social media. And people believe them again. So I don't know. Maybe we're getting close. But maybe the altcoin bottom is when those dudes are like really popular again. And because maybe I'm just noticing things other people aren't noticing yet. All right, so yeah, tell me what you think will mark the beginning of the altcoin bottom, when we'll know we're at the bottom of this altcoin spiral. Now, of course, we value our wealth in Bitcoin here, and we hold Bitcoin. So who cares if the altcoins keep going down? Really, I don't really give a darn. I've said all along, just keep it in the Bitcoin. That's been the safe thing to do. Been loving life, baby. Pound that freaking like button. All right, so the Chain Junkies, guys, this is the second shirt they sent over. Well, they sent them at the same time, but the second one I'm wearing. And they're linked to below, tpublic.com/user/Chirona. This is the Genesis block message shirt, okay? This is the Genesis block, and you can see the message that Satoshi Nakamoto put in there. That's this t-shirt. You can get that one and the 210 quadrillion Satoshi t-shirt at the links that I just mentioned, and they're linked to below. And I thank you, dude. I thank you, Chirona, Plutona, TPublic, Chain Junkies, whatever you want to call yourself. And check out chainjunkies.com. He's obviously in motion over there. Neptuna, Tritana. You like me combining the planets and the... Anyway, some people will get what I said. Virtue signaling in the space. Oh, yeah, it's creeping its way in. Now, I've mentioned some people who've tried to virtue signal in the space before, talking about how we need to go out of our way to get more women. And you know who I'm talking about. He's out there in California. Well, before I actually get into that, I just want to remind everybody, I post a news show here every single day, and there are over 1,000 of my shows at disruptmeister.com. I am on Twitter. I'm TechBalt, TechBalt, Bitcoin Meister on Steemit. All right, so back to this virtue signaling. Maria Paula. I've all of a sudden found out about this woman named Maria Paula. I linked to her below, so you can check her out. Her on Twitter, her description is mass adaptation, mass adaptation, and Africa by Toto. Now, I don't know what that Africa by Toto means, but that was a good song. Sorry, dudes, if you don't think that was a good song. Well, probably a lot of you don't, but it's a good song. Anyway, so I agree. If this person thinks Africa by Toto was a good song, I agree with her on that. But then she says Golem Project, comms. I guess she has something to do with the Golem Project. Ooh. And behind ETH Berlin and helping Ethereum ECF a bit. Views my own. Joined in March of 2018. Okay, so maybe this is a new person. She's out in Berlin. And so I'm bringing her up because she has this tweet out there. And I want to share it because she's bringing this kind of mainstream shame tactics to the space. Now, it might work in some centralized cryptocurrencies, but it ain't going to play well in the Bitcoin space. But this is where the big boys play, baby. So this is what she had to say. There, I said it. Whale Panda is not only a troll, but a homophobe, sexophobe, threatens freedom of expression. And I am generally concerned about him being a threat to minorities. Not only we had a they're describing it. She's not only we had a fun drag queen show on stage, but also a spank chain performance panel. Yay. Okay, so Whale Panda said something about this drag queen thing, and this woman took offense and now is calling him, trying to call him the worst names in the book that work, because in mainstream society where you don't control your private key, where you can lose your fortune, you can lose your job. When you're not in the Bitcoin overlay, if someone calls you a homophobe or a sexophobe or whatever, all these names she's calling people, you could be in big trouble. I mean, you're not going to be popular anymore. But no, that's not how it works here, lady. Okay. So I'm glad Whale Panda retweeted this to show, that this is kind of virtue signaling. Yeah, you could try to bring it into the Bitcoin space, but lady, maybe this works in the Golem project space. I don't know about Golem. And I see you're from Berlin and everything. So I know that's pretty politically correct over there. And then she also says, so some people commented on the thread and agreed with her, but then there were people that came out and were ripping on her. And then she said this: thanks for this. Adds further to the point. It's not about coin maximalism, but about being a douche. We need to cater to minorities. This is our job, regardless of the coin we believe in. Lady, come on now. No, we don't need to cater to minorities. No. And I can say it over and over and over again. And you can't do anything to stop me. And you probably, since you're from Germany, you probably think I'm a minority and everything because back in the day in your country, you had a problem with, anyway, but again, you can say what you want to say about my people or anything like that. That's great. It's not your job to get more my people in there or get more women in there, or this space will attract the best people. The best and the brightest make Bitcoin what it is. And if you try to do some affirmative action type of program, it's not Bitcoin. It's, some centralized you can have a centralized project that deals with cryptos and does affirmative action. Good luck. Good luck to you. Okay. And you're free to do that. And I'm free to call you out. And I just want to say, hey, this woman who's been a member of Twitter since March of 2018, and she's big into Ethereum and Golem, she thinks we should, that Whale Panda is a horrible person and calls him names. And so more and more of these people will come into the space. 80%ers, people who want to bring that mainstream taste into the space, and they can try to do it. But again, in the Bitcoin overlay, we don't care. If you control your private key, you work for yourself and everything, who cares? The more the merrier. Come on in, guys, whatever. Say what you're going to say. We're Whale Panda, me, everybody else. We're going to keep on saying what we're going to keep on saying. You can call us every name in the darn book. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Just don't get it's crypto noise what this woman is bringing to the space. I'm probably calling way too much attention to it right now. But hey, you're going to hear it, and it's nothing to worry about if virtue signalers come to the space. Rafterman R sent $2 in the super chat. Question to follow, he says. Ooh, how do I get my fiat in without going through centralized exchanges? The only way I know how at this time. Well, you don't want to, yes, you're trying to avoid KYC type of stuff. How do you get, what you have to do is, now local Bitcoins was an option beforehand. I know people are going to scream about that, but they have KYC also now. Also, if you're trying to avoid KYC, you got to just you got to go to Bitcoin meetups and basically bring some cash with you. I saw it when I was in Seoul, South Korea. People were giving South Korean won for Bitcoin. They send it from their phone. Well, they'd hand over the South Korean won, and then they send the Bitcoin from. Or you can arrange a meeting in a bank with some stranger. You can do it in the back alley like Tone Vays did. I don't advise that. I mean, again, you can get robbed when you're doing a cash for crypto in-person transaction. But again, I think go to your Bitcoin. There's Bitcoin events all over the world. Go to Bitcoin. Just go to events that deal with Bitcoin. Bring some cash with you. I'm sure you'll be able to buy some there. That there'll be no KYC if that's what you're trying to avoid. I don't know. You're talking about centralized. But again, I've been to events all over this world. There are always people. I'm offended by selling, but some people like to sell their Bitcoin and they'll take cash for it. So, go to these. And someone said Bitcoin ATM again. With the Bitcoin ATM, you got to give some information there too. Certain ones are different, I guess, in certain countries. Maybe below a certain fiat level, you don't have to give hey, you can try that too. Again, that's why you go to these, like in Tel Aviv at the Bitcoin embassy where they have the Bitcoin gatherings every month or every Sunday or whatever. There's a Bitcoin ATM there. So you ask the people, well, how does this thing work? Do I need KYC? And again, you should go to Bitcoin events, ask them where the local ATM is, what the rules are. But again, the easiest thing is you're going to meet people at these events all over the world. And they're not offended by selling some of them. All right. So what do we have here? Continuing. So I talked about the virtue signaling lady in Germany and what she thinks of Whale Panda. So, okay, here's another story. This is from yesterday. There's a guy who watches this show, and he leaves comments sometimes. And yesterday, he leaves a comment under yesterday's video. And check out yesterday's video, dudes. I was wearing a suit. It was a different type of, it was a special day yesterday, so I had a special video. If you want to see Adam in a suit, a lot of people get a kick out of that. But after that video, this person left his Trezor recovery seed in the comment section, his 24-word recovery seed. Because he said that Trezor stole from him. Okay. Now, I erased this thing immediately. I erased it immediately. And again, you can check out yesterday's video and see the dude saying, I'm going to post it everywhere because they stole from me. You might not want to admit it, Adam, but they stole from me. People, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. You never post your 24-word recovery seed anywhere. If you've just been scammed out of everything, even then you don't do it. Okay? Trezor is not stealing from you. You might be confused. If you get into a situation where you think everything is gone from your Trezor, you don't just start posting your recovery seed places. Don't do that. You might have made a mistake. You might have created a passphrase that you don't know about. You ask people you trust. You go to a crypto consultation person like me. Email me at adam@trezorhelp.com. Or like Daniel, who's got a site. He used to be called 21 Million. I don't have. He might be here right now. Is he in the chat? No, he's not there right now. But anyway, you don't do that, people. You gotta have a strong hand, even when you think you've lost everything. Stay calm. Strong hand just doesn't mean hold on to your Bitcoin. It means hold on to every single aspect of your anything that has to do with crypto. Hold on to it, okay? Because you might think you've just encountered the worst case scenario and you haven't. Now, again, there are Trezor scams out there where people email you and say, send me your recovery seed and all this. Don't do that. If you did that, maybe you did get everything stolen, okay? But it's not Trezor. It doesn't steal from people. So that doesn't make sense, really. And then it makes much less sense to then post your recovery seed as some form of revenge on a random comment section. That's not helping you because, again, that recovery seed, you might have never claimed your BGold or all sorts of other crypto dividends, and that recovery seed can lead to you losing those also, okay? So just please, people, I'm telling this story because if this one dude messed up and he is a long-time watcher of this show and other shows, anyone can get frustrated like that, I guess. Don't get frustrated. Have a strong hand. If you think all is lost, don't go posting that type of information in public spaces or with anyone even. Just ask around. I mean, the Trezor is not a simple thing, okay? It is not a simple thing. You never want to share. You never want to type in your recovery seed onto a computer. If you ever need to type in your recovery seed, you do it on your Trezor. Trezor gives you that recovery option. That is why the Trezor is awesome. So again, I wanted to share that as a lesson and as a real life story. You guys can comment. You can give the guy words of assurance under yesterday's video if you want to. I noticed someone did that. Don't do that. All is not lost. I don't know his full story at all, but it sounded. I mean, I feel bad if he got scammed out of stuff. But even if you get scammed out of stuff, still don't post it anywhere. It's just not good. Okay, because maybe you weren't really scammed out of anything. All right. So here's one. Crypto's 80% plunge is now worse than the .com crash. Okay, this is from Bloomberg. They've got this article, basically a Bitcoin is dead article. All right. So it's crypto-conflation again, okay? Because they're confusing people that as if Bitcoin, this is something bad for Bitcoin. Okay, no. The 80% plunge that happened in the cryptocurrencies or in altcoins, whatever, it's not comparable to the .com crash. It's not worse than the .com crash, okay? There were grandmothers that lost money. It was also everybody, stockbrokers were investing people's money into .coms. .coms were very, very, very mainstream, investing into them. You can look it up. Go check out old stories from back in the year 2000 and 99, 98, whenever this was, whenever I was a wee little meister. And you will see that, again, it was what has happened here. It's crashed 80% because we've got ICOs included in this. We've got all sorts of BitConnects included in this. We have not seen. I'm going to tell you this right now. So this is right now. It's a false narrative, okay, saying that this is as bad as the .com crash. No, it's not as bad as the .com crash, but eventually things will get pumped up again to a level, and then grandmothers will be involved, and everyone will be buying crypto. And unfortunately, they won't be listening to this channel. This is a 20% channel. They won't know just to buy Bitcoin. Again, they'll get into the next BitConnect and the next whatever Neo and all this ridiculous stuff, or whatever that virtue signaling girl is into. They'll get into that too, and then there will be a huge crash in the future. So we have not seen our equivalent of the .com crash yet. I don't think, because this is so early on in this space that not enough people even got into it to fuel it to that level again. But we will. And, there'll be, again, you got to value your wealth in Bitcoin, because, it's possible that one day, Bitcoin could be, don't quote me on these numbers, it could be 80,000 and drop down to 60,000, or 80,000 drop down to 40,000. And a lot of people aren't going to feel very good when that happens. And they might start going crazy and posting their recovery seeds. Don't do that. All right. So remember that. Hey, I've been hearing, speaking about crazy stuff going on. In Brazil, a presidential candidate got stabbed. So I've been to Brazil before. I was in 2015, in November 2015. I was in Rio. Not a fan. It's pretty wild down there, and they've had all sorts of economic insanity, terrible policies. And here's my advice: you guys have been through so much down there before, and I have been in touch with Brazilian people who do own Bitcoin. Just as I tell South African people to buy Bitcoin to protect their wealth, I would urge Brazilian people even more so to right now get into Bitcoin to protect your wealth. It's just wild down there. It's wacky, and the masses rule. The 80%ers rule, and they lead that country down horrible path after horrible path after horrible path. I don't see this ending too well down there. And again, I have a fascination with Portuguese speaking countries, or it's coincidental. I've been to Brazil, I've been to Portugal, I've been to Mozambique. If you speak Portuguese as your native language, and that includes Angola, you should be in the Bitcoin because it seems like all of your countries are not run very well economically. Portugal being the best run of all of those countries I just mentioned, but compared to most European countries, they're not well. They're not well. They're very much in debt and everything. So yeah, here's a little simple lesson. If you speak Portuguese as your native tongue, get in the Bitcoin. It'll help you protect your wealth. I do like the Portuguese culture. I think the way the Portuguese governments are set up, and there's so much bureaucracy. It seems like the British style governments, like Zimbabwe and South Africa, it's more to the point. There's not as much insane bureaucracy. The British really set up their countries well. The Portuguese, not so well. And no, I've never been to Angola because Angola is the hardest place for Americans to get into because they are a kleptocracy. They were run by the Dos Santos family for a while. They got kicked out of it. And it's just so funny in Angola, or a lot of Africans are proud. They're like, Dos Santos, his daughter, she is the richest woman in all of Africa. We are so proud of her. Maria, what's her name? Maria Dos Santos? I don't know what her first name is. She's rich because she stole all your money. I mean, they say it's unbelievable the extent, the confusion that 80%ers have. We are so proud of Dos Santos, the richest woman in all of Africa. And the way she became a multi-billionaire is she stole and stole and stole. They control everything that went into Angola. Everything that went into Angola, that family control. Unbelievable. But hey, man. So that's why, when you're living in environments like that and you realize what's going on and that it's not cool that she's the richest woman in all of Africa, and I know a lot of people in Angola want to get their hands on Bitcoin. And I know a lot of people in Mozambique want to. So I know it's hard. Keep on doing it. Tawanda Kembo in Zimbabwe, I know you watched yesterday's show, Tawanda. Get it over and help them out in Mozambique and Angola. Set up your exchange there, baby. Figure out or invite them all to Zimbabwe. I don't know what to say. All right. Yeah, Zimbabwe is better than Mozambique. It is. It is. I mean, on various levels. Again, you can drink the water in Zimbabwe. Mozambique, you cannot. Mozambique is falling apart more and it seemed to even be more dependent on Chinese money. And Zimbabwe is going in a better direction, since they got rid of Mugabe. Anyway, we're talking about. Check out my archives if you want to see when I've been in Africa before. And again, I love going to South Africa, and I love the people of South Africa and the people of Zimbabwe and the people of those countries. The governments, not a fan. But hey, personal responsibility is a new counterculture, guys. You can complain, or you can get into Bitcoin and protect your backsides. All right, this is talking a little bit more than I planned to on that stuff. Oh, this is great. This shows us, again, I talk about how early we are in all of this. And yes, shout out to the Portuguese speakers out there. I love you guys. And I wish I knew your language better, but I hardly do. So this is from Chris Black. And it reminds me of how social media was not predictable at the beginning of when we were talking about the .com boom before. Back then, no one could have predicted social media as it has generated now. But Chris Black says, people thought the telegraph was awesome. Then the telephone came along and allowed voice over existing telegraph lines, which changed the world. People thought Bitcoin was awesome. Then blank came along and allowed blank on Bitcoin's blockchain, which changed the world. So there is stuff that is going to be built on top of Bitcoin that we cannot envision right now that is going to change the world. And that's why you want to own that base level that's going to be built on top of, which is Bitcoin. And it's unpredictable. It's unpredictable, but he gives a good analogy there. Check out Chris. Chris Black was on the show. What was that, last week? Check out Fridays This Week in Bitcoin. It is linked to below. It was a good time. We talked about Venezuela and all sorts of things. So again, and then this week in Bitcoin on Friday at 11:45 a.m., Farzam will be on from South Africa. speaking of South Africa. Andy Hoffman will be on at 11:45 a.m. Eastern time, and Caitlin will be on. You know her. What's Caitlin's last name from Wyoming? Oh my God, I forgot her last name. Yeah, she'll be on the show. What's her last name? I'm drawing a blank on her last name. She's awesome. She's the financialization woman. She knows all about that stuff. So it's such a Caitlin Long, right? Is that her last name? Oh God, I'm butchering the whole thing. It'll be a good show on Friday though. Check it out. And then of course I'm here in Baltimore until the 20th. Then I'll be in Santiago, Chile for 2 months. Bang that bell button if you need reminders when this show goes live. Click on the squares at the end of this video. You'll see pop up. And finally, Alistair Milne says, this chart is brilliant. Visualization of Bitcoin's losses after new all-time high drawdowns are getting smaller each time. Yes, this is true. New all-time high drawdowns are getting smaller each time. Okay, it's all cyclical is basically what I'm going to conclude this as. And it shows that as the halvings get closer, how things get better. And right after the halving, check out this darn chart that I'm butchering more than Caitlin Long's name. All right. All right. Oh, by the way, someone just hilariously in the chat, I just saw it say Lynette Zhang. Oh my God, that is the opposite of Caitlin Long. The opposite. If you think Lynette Zhang is a legitimate financial person, you got a lot to learn, dudes. That's from the doom porn realm there. She's over in the doom porn realm that, doesn't understand Bitcoin at all. The Lynette Zhangs of the world. Oh my God. No, that is the opposite of Caitlin Long. Caitlin Long is awesome. So, hey, pound that like button, everybody. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the link section below. And, I got my haircut too. I'm sure you guys are mentioning that. Bye.